Ben Doughty from The Hardest Game trying to start an interview slick and professional, and here's Spencer Fearon, brother from another mother, complimenting my sartorial style.
No, I'm feeling this, man. I'm feeling this is very 60s style. It's like the blue and white tweed. I'm feeling this, Ben. I'm feeling this, man. I've taught you well, young man.
I was going to say, I had a good teacher, I had a good thing to aspire to. It seems that every time Chris Eubank Jr. appears in public, he's determined to make fresh, outrageous allegations against all and sundry.
Mm-hmm. That is the whole point of Chris Eubank Jr. because he's learned from the best. His father was the best. No one can't say that his dad wasn't the best. His dad was excellent. So he's learned from the best.
You mean his dad was the best at media manipulation and public relations?
Do you remember when he got fined £15,000 for saying the three scumbags, the dad?
I don't remember that. I remember him getting fined for having a bet on himself to beat Nigel Benn in the first round of their initial fight back in.
He put 50 grand on himself, wasn't it?
He put 50 grand on himself to win in the first round as a cut to try and psychologically unseat Nigel Benn, presumably, rather than actually believing he was going to do it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Those are the good ones. And I think his son has learned from the master. That's all it is.
Yeah. So listen, what do you? It was an epic, the first fight. It was a barn burner, it was a war, it was humbling to see the effort. They both left it all in the ring. But what kind of fights are going to be this time, do you feel?
I think it's been the same.
You really think it'll be just like all gung-ho, bombs away again?
It will be the same. It'll be Eubank trying to box a little bit more, but I think it'll be the same. And I think
Nigel wants Conor to box a bit more, he said.
No, I'm telling you this now, that Conor won't box more, but Conor will be more thinking. He'll be more thoughtful in the attack. And what I do believe, and you've heard it here first, that Conor will apply more body attacks.
Yeah.
Right? Especially because last time out he didn't. And I'm saying, why wouldn't you? A guy's weight weakened. Why wouldn't you attack his body? So and that's what I think is going to happen in this fight.
On the subject of weight weakening, some people say, well, listen, Eubank makes a big deal out of making 160 when he's fought a 160 for the last several fights.
Of the pantomime, but as you get older, you know it's harder to get down to the weight. You know what I mean? You used to box
welterweight, yeah.
You used to box at what? Exactly. You can't make welterweight now, Ben.
And you ain't making light middleweight anytime soon, neither.
Never ever.
Yeah.
Never ever.
But because all I would say is when
chop me leg off.
You know this from being an insider and being a boxing historian. Whenever a guy is struggling
we
at the
are
weight,
boxing historians.
We
are boxing.
Indeed, the royal we.
Yeah.
We're sorry, by the way, for conducting this press conference at a building site. It was all we could get at short notice. All right. Now listen. When a guy is struggling at the weight and it's seriously detrimental to his chances in the upcoming fight, they normally keep it well quiet. You hear whispers. Eubank parades it, which makes me sceptical about how much of a torture it really is for him.
I hear that, but it is a torture because his father was the one that always said, like, he shouldn't be, my son shouldn't be at this weight. Yeah. And I believe it. I don't think, but he is fighting a little guy. So we can it kind of balances things, right?
It does sort of balance things, I suppose. And my friend Michael Larger thinks weight is overrated. He thinks the weight bully concept is overrated. He doesn't think. Do you know what? He doesn't think that it makes a difference, and yet he thinks a few ounces of glove weight makes all the difference in the world. You heard that one? That he thinks that 16 ounce. He thinks that 16 ounce gloves have got more concussive potential than an 8 ounce glove.
I don't know about that because I know when I fought and I had 8 ounce gloves on, I fought like I was.
Destroyer.
I thought I was Rocky Marciano. So yeah, but you feel it, you think bloody. When I hit someone here, they're gonna feel it. So I disagree with his theory. But who am I to argue with a man who fought for 2 world titles?
Thomas Hearns and Frank Tate and all the rest of it. I still love you regardless, Silk. You said you're not making a prediction today, I believe, as far as Ben Eubank 2 goes.
I'm not, because I like to see the build-up and everything else. I'm not, you know what I mean?
So perhaps we could close this one out with something about Ricky Hatton. I heard you talking to the previous lady who you interviewed.
Ricky Hatton was just the coolest guy, you know what I mean? And like, I remember September the 23rd, 2000, we boxed on the same card. And he fought, was it Giuseppe? He fought Ted Bammy for the European title.
Yeah. Giuseppe Lowry?
And he fought him. And he was in the change room, and I was in the change room with Danny Williams, and he was blazing Destiny's Child, Can You Pay My Bills? Yeah. So I wanted to know who's playing this music. Yeah. I was. It's
obviously some brother with taste.
Yeah. And it was Ricky Hatton, but that's me also taken away from Destiny's Child, how big they were. They were massive. But he was in there doing his bit, and I said, nah, bro, play this. I want to hear this. And he put on Tenor Ring the Alarm. Yeah. And I remember years later when he was getting ready to fight Manny Pacquiao, I was at Satanta then doing bits, and they were and I see him, and he goes, you know what, Spence, I still listen to Tenor Saw.
Yeah.
And regardless of the fact that maybe he don't, but the fact that this is years later that
You remembered it, the connection.
And for us, like, Tenor Saw is a big dancehall hero of us. So I'm like, right, you know what, spud to you for that. Ricky Hatton was a very endearing, and he was a beautiful human being. I'm gonna be real. Everybody you met him felt like you knew him for years, right? Yeah. And like, yeah.
I think sometimes he got a little bit suffocated by the public adulation. There was days when he didn't want to talk to people, I believe.
But the thing about it is I never ever experienced that.
No.
Every time that I was with him or around him, it was really
You're
cool.
too famous to experience that.
Well, you know what? I just never experienced it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's because like
You're a Londoner.
Yeah, exactly.
On that note, over and out. Peace out. Always a pleasure.
Be lucky.